Welcome to the third Epic 7 podcast. Thank you for Panshui, Nereen, and OnceInLuv for joining us this week, and everyone from chat. Let's just have everyone introduce themselves so we can make sure people know who everyone is. Start with Panshui, then Nereen, then OnceInLuv. All right, Panshui.
All right. Hi. I am Panshui. I'm a streamer for Epic 7, although I'm not really a content creator. What I do for streaming is just PvP theory crafting, and that's basically it.
Hi, I'm Nereen. I am a competitive endgame E7 player, primarily focused on Guild War. I'm currently in Ambition. I used to be part of PT. You occasionally see me in Arena too.
Hello, my name is OnceInLuv, E7 content creator. I am in PT, and well, don't laugh at me. I don't know. I've been pretty lazy figuring out what's going on lately, but these guys are OP, and I'm just me, you know.
But you have Arbor Revildred.
It's true. It's true. I do have Arbiter Vildred. Pretty good advantage.
Thank you for that introduction. And so, welcome everyone. Let's start things off. First few ones should be easy here. Quick ones. So, first topic we have set for today. Do you think Lilibet has helped players in Arena since she has come out regarding the revive meta? Any thoughts, guys?
In Arena? Maybe a little bit, but I don't think a ton.
She's not a major. She doesn't like. I don't think she has a big enough influence to really knock the revive meta out yet.
She works really well against people who don't have like really solid compositions, right? If you have like one small threat and that's it, and then you like have a Ruel or something, she works really well against that. But once you like push higher tier guild wars, like players just have way better comps and way better opportunities.
I think for
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I think for Arena, a little bit as like a niche single target unit, she works perfect. But as far as the way that Arena Rush goes, she has no place because you're not going to be able to cleave it. So as far as her usefulness in helping people in Arena, sure, but not like what people want, right?
I feel like
cleaving, yeah.
As I was doing Arena on my alt and my main account separately, for like champion and above in Arena, I feel like she only helps with very specific teams, where let's say Arbiter Villager is the only threat. You can neutralize that, and then that's it. It kind of helps that. But generally, people in champion or legend, when you're doing Arena Rush, I feel like there's more. People try to have more than just one single target threat. Like Arbiter Villager is not just what they have. But in like lower rankings, people who might not have a big enough unit pool yet, who don't have that many units, like Lilibet, I feel like might have helped them a lot, because to them, Arbiter Villager is probably like a menace. It's like, if you can't get rid of him, he's gonna wipe your team.
I think the other part with Lilibet is that she doesn't really have offensive awakenings, right? All of her awakenings are very like,
I found that
no crit rate,
weird.
No speed. Her base attack is just okay, right? I don't think she's as easy to use as she could be.
She's
a lot of people will struggle to use her effectively.
She is very hard to set up. I even have a difficult time trying to figure out a team that can actually use her like viably without like having the entire arena battle play out. But the problem is that because she doesn't have any synergy with the rest of her kit, once she uses her S3, she's basically just empty. She has like nothing left to really continue her kit. And from there, she just feels very useless and nothing more to just tickle the enemy, because then once you get rid of like one unit, like let's say for example Arbiter Vildred, there isn't like any answer to like do everything else, because like everything is tanky in Legend, at least for where I am, and I can almost, it takes me like 5 to 10 minutes just to kill him, and by then I would just die to lightning.
Okay, so it's kind of along the lines. I feel like she wasn't a bad unit to start off with Extinction. I'm just hoping they come out with.
It's Oblivion. It's gonna be Oblivion.
Yeah, I could see that coming out sooner or later. Like, they're gonna have to they're gonna have to fill in that gap. But we'll see what happens, I guess. Okay. That was a quick topic. I just wanted to know what your thoughts was, especially since the little bit banner disappeared now. So, alright. Let's go second topic here. This is gonna be a fun one. Do you think Swimsuit Bologna Karen will be skins or new characters? Because we don't have a lot of data in mind about this yet. We saw there's like that banner icon.
Oh god. It better not be. It better not be a new character.
I really don't want a new character because, like, not just for me, for other people, there are people who are going to have difficulty rolling for it, and then that means they can't get the quote unquote.
There are so many reasons why it shouldn't be a new character.
Yeah.
So many reasons.
It's also gonna get confusing. I feel like.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
I guess it'll come down to how cash hungry they are, right? I think they'll make more from skin though. I honestly think they'll make more from skin though. So
I think it's also like publicity wise, it'll be better, right, for the like community. Like people, I think people would lean towards liking Smilegate more if they didn't go for like a new character. At least that's why I feel. Personally, that's why I feel.
It's I don't know, it's a really sensitive topic. Like on one side you could have the Summoners War aspect where it's just like, okay, you get skins every once in a while, they don't mean anything at all, and they're pretty like fair, they're just fun cosmetics, right? Or you could have the Knights Chronicle option where they're like extremely pay to win, they're basically like a brand new unit. It's just like how scared are you guys of that becoming a thing? I don't think it'll happen. I think Smilegate knows better. They know they'd kill their game if they did that, but it's definitely a fear in players' minds.
I think we're really waiting to see what happens because, like as you said, that's a fear. So with everything that's happened, everyone's kind of waiting to see how they kind of tackle this and how they do this to see what happens.
Well, if any of you guys played Grand Blue Fantasy, so whether or not they release it as a new character, you can technically consider it as a whole new character. They're just recycling a lot of like, you know, I guess in this case the artwork, but they would have to redraw it, so I don't think it really works like that. But I mean, if they do that, at least make it so that you can change the character skin of like the previous Bologna or the swimsuit. If you own the swimsuit character, even though they probably would have like different kits, but hopefully they just make it just purely cosmetic though.
I agree.
Yeah.
I really like. What are your thoughts on like having, okay, let's see, what if the skin had no stats that will affect like arena or anything, but what if it's like golden EXP stats for farming year and A?
I just don't think any stats. I personally don't prefer any stats at all.
Purely cosmetic, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would just assume that we could just acquire them from like maybe a side story that they actually bring out for like a fun side story for us to do, or like some kind of event that we could actually just do and we just acquire them for free.
Like
but
the Valentine's Day ones.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. We haven't had a side story like that in like a long time that actually gave us
That's true.
so many nice rewards. So it would be pretty cool if they could actually do that.
I think
that one was nice and chill.
I think it'd be cool if it was purely cosmetic and it's like if you're there for the event, you get the skin. And if it's purely cosmetic, then it's great, right? So people who are actually playing during that time, it's like a kind of limited, quote unquote, limited farmable skin that's purely cosmetic. I think that's not bad. Okay. That was just a quick topic. I was wondering everyone's thoughts, just so people know.
I'm scared. I'm honestly kind of scared about it.
Same. We'll see what happens, though. I mean, it should be coming out soon.
Like, this is such a good game to do that with. And, like, my fear... I mean, yet again, I'm just gonna keep repeating this, but like the fear for me is that like someone's gonna be like, hey, we could just like make a lot of money with this, and they just don't do it properly.
The Koreans are not gonna let them. They're gonna flame them so hard. It's not gonna happen.
Actually, so Fat Chocobo, you're saying that there's zero chance that it'll be
it's not that
cosmetic.
there's zero chance.
There's actually they'll make a ton of money by making it purely cosmetic, like a ton of money. And the reason for that is because people like having like this customizable. I mean, take MapleStory for example. People spend hundreds upon hundreds of dollars every month strictly for cosmetics. Even on the
Like,
servers where you like can't pay to win, right? People just buy cosmetics.
Yeah.
The second they make it not a cosmetic option and they give it like stats or bonuses, people will quit because they'll see it and they'll just immediately red flag Knights Chronicle, and nobody wants a repeat of Knights Chronicle. That was like the fucking worst. It was literally the worst. I don't think any mobile game company will ever put themselves in that position, knowing how that turned out. I don't know. Maybe that's just my 2 cents on it, but I really don't think they would do it.
I think I really like, especially with what's happened all recently. I'm leaning towards them not doing that. Like, I'm leaning towards them hoping, at the same time, they make the decision to just make it purely cosmetic. You know, it's something players can enjoy. Like, so many games out there, like, not mobile wise, but League of Legends, they survive purely based on like skins. Like, players like the skins just because the new animations and stuff like that.
So the Knights Chronicle situation, what happened was they came out with skins for characters, but they were basically just like straight up upgrades to characters. And the issue became that like these skins were literally pay to win in the fact that they made the unit notably better.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like the same kit though? Like the core
No,
unit?
it was a different kit. It was like an upgraded kit.
So upgrade a
Okay.
skill too.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but they upgraded like one of their skills or something.
I can see
Okay,
why
so
that
they like
would-
recycled. They recycled the kit. Okay, so it's not like a brand new character, just the
No,
same.
not like a brand new character,
Okay.
but it was like a skin for that character. But the thing is, they were so much stronger, right? It was like a yeah, exactly. It was like a dollar locked,
specialty.
like a
change.
dollar locked specialty change, except it was better than a specialty changed.
I can see why that would kill a game. Honestly, like I can imagine why.
Yeah, people were upset. People were upset.
All right.
Like
well,
it wasn't as bad as like King's Raid. King's Raid skins were just like get a little bit of extra gold, a little bit of extra EXP. That wasn't the end of the world. But like when you looked at the ones they had for Knights Chronicle, it was really rough.
hopefully we don't get a repeat of that.
No.
All right, guys. Third topic: new Hell Raid bosses. We got a day in mind on that. Thoughts? Have you guys went over the different skills of them? What do you think?
Some of them look really, really hard.
I can say first because I haven't read them, so
Oh,
I can't give an opinion.
I posted it in here if you want to read through it.
Yeah.
just my 2 cents. I'm not sure if it's just me, but I feel like the fact that the queen isn't gonna take percent HP damage now. I'm a little worried it's like the floor 100 of Automation Tower. Like slowly creeping towards that route, you know, like they can't find a new mechanic to make it harder. Now it's like an artificial difficulty just to
Well, so
kinda-
like the big artificial difficulty they keep adding is they keep saying, "Hey, we're gonna stop making these units able to take max HP damage," which is fine, I think, as long as you don't give it immunity. Because the second you force immunity on the unit, it just becomes really, really difficult for players to even approach it.
I think that goes for like almost all the bosses that they included recently. It's like the same mechanics keep on rinsing itself.
Yeah, like
And I've
there's
been seeing it more and more, and like I noticed that I'm forced to like build one character. Like I talked earlier today, it's like, oh crap, I had to build myself a Lorena even though I really don't want to. But she is good everywhere. Like I don't think there's one boss that wouldn't take her right now in the new Hell Raid.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna try not to.
Yeah.
I'm not a
I'll
big fan
try
of like
to.
she looks cool and all, but like I'm really against making her. I feel like so.
Well, assuming they make PvE content, you're probably gonna want to build her. So
Yeah.
like ranking PvE content. Like I don't, depending on how they implement guild or world boss, you know, you may or may not want her because she does so much damage in PvE. So might be forced to either way.
I finished her
I think
specialty
it's-
change and she always sat there. So
Yeah. She's not gonna fall out of the PvP area anytime soon. We've been seeing her used. Like the first thing that people use or theorycraft for every single content, whether it be like Abyss 90 to like the auto tower.
Auto tower.
We literally see Lorena as the first unit. We
Yeah.
even see her in like, I'm pretty sure in Hellraid too, as like one of the best morale units.
Yeah, it's one of the units that gives or helps with the highest morale.
Yeah, it's wild.
Well, I'm sure when the new Hellraid bosses, we'll see. Most people probably start with Lorena, and then slowly more teams will kind of trickle in.
Should we cover the boss's skills
Sure.
in stream?
Does one of you have them pulled up?
Yeah. I linked it already. I'll link it again for you. There.
I hope they don't expand the shop though in the raid, cause I think that's gonna suck.
I don't think if they expand it, I don't think they should expand it yet. They should wait a little bit.
Like,
Yeah.
for the trading in for the tokens?
They
Yeah,
might make it better. I feel like they might make it better. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
like what if they randomly just added like you can buy boots now from the shop,
Mm-hmm.
and then everyone that bought weapons and chests just
Oh,
it kind of sucks.
that's true. Oh, can you
Yeah.
imagine level 88 speed boots? Would that
45 speed base.
be? Oh man,
Oh,
that'd be a big monk ass. Everyone has to replace boots now.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That would suck. That would suck a lot.
Yeah, it would.
In terms of skills, like the only thing that I'm really afraid of, so Vera, I'm a little bit scared of Protective Instincts, mainly because it has that whole like if there are any remaining allies, attacks all enemies.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit on the scary side. I'm also not sure how much the stackable attack and defense will scale. If it scales really hard, it's going to be really tough. If it scales fairly, it's going to be really easy. Egg form, I don't know how I feel about the increases allies combat readiness when attacked, because they provoke and they attack break.
Mm-hmm.
So it might end up being this like you have to kill the ads and then kill the boss afterwards. But
I feel like that's how it is. Like
quite
for
sure.
the egg form right now in normal raid, we just can't go after the egg. But then in Hellraid, like we're pretty much forced to kill the ads, the Karak's
kill
charger.
ads in most
Yeah, we had to
cases.
pay attention
Yeah.
to the mechanics a lot.
Mm-hmm. Juleeve, however, looks really, really hard.
When splitting has a chance to trigger a dual attack. You
Dual
get,
attacks.
You get hit
yeah.
6 times if I'm reading this correctly.
It's a dual attack from the ads, right? When the boss splits, or
Yeah, like
what is this?
that means so at least the way I read this is the moment it splits, or sorry,
The ads have a
yeah, the ads have a chance to trigger a dual
yeah.
attack. But is that on their turn attack or is that like right away?
I don't think it's right away. I think it's on their turn of attacking. I have no clue though.
So that's like I guess if you can't find the right one right quickly, or you can't kill the right one quickly, you're gonna take a lot of damage.
We're not really like the comparison of normal raids that we made, Lion Gods, was that normal raids are just really easy. You don't really have to pay attention. Second hell raids roll around, it's like that's when you have to pay a lot of attention. You know,
Yeah.
Mechanics become really important.
HP
There's a
goes
lot of
up,
factors.
and, like you can't just nuke a boss now in Hellraid.
We hope you can control the ads. That's not. I mean, given this is all speculation, right, guys? So like we're making speculations based on what we think. So, you know, we gotta try our best.
I'm a little worried for the Queen though, for the increased greater attack and defense. Like, I don't think anyone right now has a greater defense buff, right? We've never seen any unit with that. So I don't know.
And CR changing as well.
Yeah.
50%. Below 50%, there's no CR manipulation. Above 50%, there's half.
Yeah. So it's like, how much damage can we actually do then in that case? I'm a little
Also,
worried
did
about
they
that.
change the wording on it? Because when I first read it, it said that when she gets attacked, she summons 2 Devour Arahawkins, which kind of scared me.
Really?
No, I thought it
I
was
don't-
like two ads. I thought she was just
Okay,
summoning more
okay.
ads, not summoning more of herself.
Well, no. So when I read it the first time, it said,
Something up to 2 Azimanus. You thought it was
yeah, okay,
Devour
managers.
Archon.
Okay, they did edit that. At first, it said 2 Devour Arahawkins, and I was like, wait a minute.
Okay,
Wait a minute,
That
that
would
can't be
kind of
it.
scary.
Yeah, that scared me a lot. So I'm glad that got addressed. Queen can't be Daydream Jokered or Bolognaed,
Mm-hmm.
Does that?
which
wonder-
I mean, I think that's fair, to be honest. As long as she doesn't have like raw immunity the whole time, that should be fine.
I feel like the combat readiness debuff, or sorry, the immune to decreased combat readiness is like kind of like a counter to Dizzy, to be honest. I feel like, because that's what everyone brings right now.
I'm pretty okay with them making content where Dizzy's not like steamroll OP.
Yeah.
I think that's good. But I do still fear that they're going to make it too hard.
Mm-hmm. The other thing
But
I'm worried about is
I think I'd rather it be harder. I think I'd rather it be too hard and then adjusted than have it too easy.
And have everyone just kind of steamroll through it easily right away, right?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how they're going to set it so, because with all the new bosses, in this case now, we have 5 Hell Raid bosses in total.
Yeah.
Like, where are we going to get the keys from? Because I remember someone said it looks like you can
Alchemist Steeple.
Yeah, that's what, you can craft one, right? I guess
Wait, from the Sanctuary?
Yeah, the Sanctuary, Alchemist Steeple, right?
That's, it was in the initial video or something they showed at the Festa.
So,
was that you can craft one there. I don't know if you can craft more than one or just one, but
I don't know if they'll let you craft that many. And even if it is, it might be expensive. So it's like,
I mean, 3 a week is fine, to be honest.
I mean, we need 3 a week in order to get access to Queen anyway.
Yeah, 3 sounds right.
Yeah.
Unless you have that exact perfect team morale to clear the 2 Hell Raid bosses.
I don't know. They might give us more.
Hopefully. That'd be interesting.
Wait, did you say a single run to clear 2 bosses?
Sorry. No, 2 runs to get all the
2
mini
runs.
bosses, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, because clearing 2 bosses in 1 run is impossible.
Because I mean, if you go with that route, if you do the same route, you do the first one, you clear all the mini bosses for Archon, and then from your guide that you had, you go a little bit towards Karkness, right?
Yeah, you do 2 fights on the Karkanis side.
And then if you skip the mini bosses, I would imagine you can probably do the same route, like Karkanis and then Queen for the second run, right? Like, that's only if you're skipping the mini bosses, though.
If you skip the mini bosses, you can probably do 4 bosses in 3, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But it would still be kind of difficult.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Hell Queen should actually drop a key, right? That's true. Maybe she'll drop a key for us, so then we can do what? 4? What, 4 keys a week? Okay. Well, 4th topic. All right. The big one, kind of, not that big, but second big one. ML Ravi thoughts and how it'll affect Arena. We've seen her base stats. She was released in Journal now. We saw her skill set. We know how she's kind of like. What are your thoughts?
So for people who don't know or haven't looked yet, ML Ravi has Ken style scalings in terms of skill 1, skill 3 with the damage of max HP and such. Let's see, what are her base stats again? She's 7,000 base HP, 1,000 base attack, 650 defense, and 106 speed. No effectiveness, no crit rate, no crit damage, awakenings. Overall, she's very good. She has really good base stats, very tanky, with a fair amount of attack and still a decent speed. The interesting thing with ML Ravi is going to be how effectively you can upkeep your fighting spirit, because her fighting spirit gives her the opportunity to have this like built-in half Waters Origin, so you get the heal from it, but you don't get the combat readiness. But you also heal in your skill 1 when you attack, and if you're holding fighting spirit, you gain crit rate. So the fear is that, you know, once she starts rolling, she'll be too strong. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I think people will still be able to deal with her. I don't think she's going to be insane like MLR and ML Ball.
Yeah, for Arena defense, I think her kit doesn't really provide anything to change what it is now. So no matter how tanky you build her, you're still gonna build her bruisery probably. Most likely, everyone thinks to her, they compare her to Firecan. So if you picture a Firecan, you're probably still gonna get cleaved. So and her kit doesn't prevent that. Now, if it comes down to where you don't get one shot and she could sustain, then maybe she can fit in to sort of like a stall comp, sort of like Fire Corpus or something. But we'll have to see. For offense, I don't think she'll fit into Arena offense. That's pretty much it.
She's too slow. She's not.
Yeah.
She's not gonna do anything.
If she was opposite element, she might be better.
Yeah, right now she's probably really prone to any cleave just because then she's just an ML. Ken is a little bit harder to cleave, just like Corvus, just because then he's like fire element, and there's like a couple Vildred users out there like me, where we could actually struggle against because then he's just fire.
Mm-hmm.
But against MLs, they're just really easy because then they're just neutral element, and then you don't really have to worry about them. You could just like go straight in.
I think
Just
Ken is
clap
still
them.
stronger.
Yeah.
People were asking, like, do you think Ken is better or ML Ravi? I think Ken is still better. Ken is probably one of the most overtuned units in the game.
Yeah.
Actually, like from how I was reading her skills, at least personally, I thought Emma Ravi was going to be a lot stronger than people think, because of like definitely good on a wall comp because of her passive, because her healing scaling at least looks like it's pretty high, and her damage scales off. If I remember correctly, it scales off her HP, right? Her max HP
Mm-hmm.
with high damage scalings too. So I feel like I feel like she's gonna be very similar to like Ken, where she's like tanky but does damage. But then in this case, it's like a Ken that self heals every time you hit them. So like unless you defense break and like insta burst them, I feel like she'll be an issue because once she ramps up and gets 100 fighting spirit, none of her skills actually consume fighting spirit, unlike the normal Ravi. So at 100 fighting spirit, you have to hit her.
Well,
you get her
every
10
time you
times.
attack her, she uses fighting spirit.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's 10 hits, which I think that's quite a bit of times you have to actually hit her for her to lose all her fighting spirit to not heal.
I mean, she starts off with 50 right in the beginning. It
Yeah.
literally says it on Nurse too. She starts off with 50.
Her
and
auto gives
then
20. Her skill 3 gives
assuming-
50, right?
Yeah, assuming that she starts off with her AI and the full bar is actually 100. She'll get like max fighting spirit. You have to hit her like so many times
Mhm.
until she can actually get her down. I would also like to assume like the new artifact, the proof of
Valor?
something, proof of valor.
Yeah.
That on bruisers, like I just feel like the PvP in general, including like GVG,
I feel like people
it's already been going towards bruiser meta.
Would
like
you
thoughts?
want to run Durandal on her though? Because then
Mm,
you kind of want her to be able to take a turn to recover her fighting spirit. So like she'll take less damage, but then
It depends on your team setup.
That's
Your
true.
team setup, whether you run things like speed set versus counter set. If you run things versus like you definitely don't need Sigurd, you don't need lifesteal.
Mhm.
The other things you could look at would be things like Crimson Seed. You could look at Proof of Valor.
Mhm.
You could look at Durandals. So it's like your sets are counter, speed set, or multiple offsets. If you go
Mhm.
for this weird debate team,
mhm.
and then your artifact choices are like Crimson Seed, Proof of Valor, Durandal, and then maybe you could run Sigurd if you want a ton of damage when you're low, but it's pretty uncommon.
Mhm.
I don't know. Again, it depends on like your team composition, right? Like if your team composition is meant to bruise fast, then running a Proof of Valor or running a Crimson Seed probably isn't going to help you a lot. You're probably going to want to run something more offensive like Durandal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe
We-
even El's Fist if you want the speed.
Screw it. I'm pretty
That's
sure
true.
people are just gonna put portrait on her and just have her just one shot somebody.
Yeah,
It's just how it is.
You're going and she's like, oh yeah, she's
Just-
tanky,
just-
and then she like
For
nukes
offense,
you. It's
for
like,
offense,
oh,
yeah.
okay.
Nah, for defense too.
Well,
for GVG.
hit me up, guys, when you get her, so you can test her, and we can. I know how she is because guaranteed. Yeah, I don't know if I'll get her. So
One of us will get her.
one of us.
I mean, I think she's a good unit. She just won't affect arena.
Yeah, she just won't affect arena, just
Yeah.
GVG. GVG in general.
I think yeah.
She,
Oh, sorry. As a bruiser, I feel like bruisers are so good in guild versus guild right now.
I think she can be good in Guild Wars defense
Mhm.
if you already build a very tanky team. I think she'd be fine in that case. But she's not one of those units where you can just like throw it in and it's good no matter what. You need to build her into the team properly. Nereen's in-game name is Nereen. He's in Ambition. But yeah, so like my discussion with like being able to use her in arena defense, you can use just about anything in arena defense, right? As long as you build the team properly, right? But it's not as good as like a Carmen or a Ball or a Ruel where you can just throw it in there and it's good no matter what,
Yeah.
right? It's good. It's just how it actually is, right? ML Ravi definitely isn't at that standard, but she's not like, you know, some trashy unit that no one uses. She'll definitely sit there just fine.
Yeah.
All right. Last topic. Thoughts on the compensation and recent Q&A session. What do you think about Smilegate, about how they handled this, and future down the road? Do you think things will improve pretty much?
I want to hear what you guys have to say first.
This
I
is
can-
hella. You can go.
Okay. Well, I'm a developer, so I have a pretty biased opinion. And I thought a lot of those Koreans are privileged, but that's like my personal opinion. But the way they handled it, I guess, for global, everyone, I guess, global was super happy about the free Nat 5s and stuff. But for the Koreans and the way they're answering and saying, "Oh, we'll change this, we'll do this for you," I don't think a lot of people would understand that things they say you can't until you actually see it in a patch note. They're gonna go ahead and consider it, but whether or not they actually implement it, we'll have to wait and see. So a lot of things like for example, the ML40, and then you get like a pity ML, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, just because they said it, you can't take it word for word that that's actually how it's going to be implemented.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they're going to go back, talk to stakeholders, stuff like that, right? It's a company. So I thought what they did was good. A lot of people want to see transparency, and they want to see them, like, you know, talking about it, addressing issues, and, you know, not keep people playing. But it felt like the people that went into that convention, a lot of them already had like their view on things, and it's kind of hard to change someone's view when they're already set there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was just my opinion of the conference. I thought they did a good job, and you know, if they do one for global, it's probably be a lot better. I think a lot more people would be more open-minded and less like aggressive against them.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the the aggressiveness there was a little bit brought on upon themselves by the 15%, but
I don't agree with that statement.
you don't
I
think
don't
so?
agree that I don't think that anything like that is brought upon themselves.
You don't think so?
I think there are expectations and there are reality, and I think a lot of people think that their expectations should equal reality. I think that a lot of people are very, very entitled
Mm-hmm.
and expect that if they have a voice and a forum for it, that they should be listened to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of people are firm believers of Reddit. You know, you use Reddit. Reddit is the go-to to say this is how it's going to be. And a lot of developers and a lot of games have been bullied out of that recently. They've been bullied into this situation where they have to listen to the community because the community bandwagons against them on forums like Reddit and such, and it kills games. It kills lots of games. It kills lots of really good games, actually. Reddit almost becomes this like cult in its own way, and that is why I disagree with they kind of brought it upon themselves. I don't think they brought it upon themselves at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with that. I think that Smilegate made their choices and players didn't like it, and that's fine. If they don't like it, they don't have to play the game, right? They can leave the game. They made it very vocal that they wanted to play the game, but they wanted things to change. So Smilegate said, okay, then let's talk. Let's change things. And all they did was bash them.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I was surprised how much
90% of
bashing
people
was there.
just bashed them. 90% of people that were there bashed them.
Yeah.
10% of people asked good questions that were relevant.
I was
Things that
surprised-
could actually change.
I was surprised at the mentality that some of the people went in there when I watched the Q&A session. Like there'd also be a lot of repeat questions that would happen.
Yeah.
Even after someone asked it, it's like, did they expect to get something out of that if they asked it multiple times, or so?
People were too emotional. They didn't take the time to really think about what their platform was before they just wanted to kind of spew their opinions on things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that it really shows the culture between like I like to say like the Koreans are completely different. Their culture is different, and how they take E7 is like for them, I feel like it feels more than just a game, and then for us, we just care more about like, I don't know how you put it.
It's also a historical thing, right? In
Yeah.
Korea, it's historical that developers kind of take advantage of players.
Yeah.
So on some sides, it's like we see it and we kind of understand, but at the same time, I don't know. We live in a very progressive world, so I don't know why everyone always looks so far in the past. I don't mind seeing close in the past. I think that's fine, right? But everyone always looks like 4 or 5 years, maybe even more, and then says, well, this is what you used to do back then, or this is what people have done back then, so you must be doing it now. Right?
Yeah. Well, that's one thing we'll see what happens in the upcoming, because not to mention, I'm sure with how things are happening, they may or may not have more interaction with the community in, well, I guess North America or global servers, hopefully, and then we can get more of a, we can get some people who can ask some questions there that might be a little bit more relevant, I would say.
I was like meaning to ask, since Once is currently an E7 content creator, like have you even tried to contact them, or like has there any been talk or anything like that so far?
I mean,
like how's it different? Like now that you're in it for the second time, like how's it now? Or has nothing changed?
There's more communication. We get to know things that are important a little bit sooner. So before it was basically just, if we wanted to report bugs or make suggestions, we would post our uploads, if we created something, and they would tell us, like patches out, take a look at the patch, blah, 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 like right when it went live.
Yep.
Nowadays, there's more of a communication line. It's a little bit better. We get to know some things a little bit ahead, but it kind of depends on what the context is or what the topic itself is. I don't think the suggestions really make too much of a difference. On one side, like I wanna say that they do, because I think that's might be the only reason I'm actually in for round 2. A lot of the things that we suggested, like we compiled a really good list on stream in January, and I think about 40% of it was actually put through. And after hearing this press conference, about another 30%, so 70% total has been like put on a list of consideration. And I don't agree with all the things that I suggested now. Like looking back at the list, it's been 6 months, right? But there are a lot of quality of life things that were important that went through that not a lot of people complained about. But I really do think that the GMs try their best to help us. But at the end of the day, it's not really their call, right? They don't have a choice, right? They're not the developers. They're not stakeholders. They're not any of those things, right? They're just the communication line between us and them.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, let's open it all. Let's open it to the table. If anyone has questions in chat.
Actually, I want to talk before we do that. I want to talk about the timeline they gave us. So for those of you guys who aren't familiar with the timeline that was set out is July 25th will be the balance change announcement, and it says recall. July 31st will be summon improvement announcements and a reveal possibly of an auto repeat system. August 8th will be the balance update. August 15th is Korean Independence Day. They also talked about the ML pity, which they canceled and are reconsidering about how they will consider it, which sounds kind of stupid. September crafting mileage, guaranteed epics. September 19th, pets auto repeat with Sigma possibly. October 17th, a world boss, and they're unclear on the setup so far. For those who say like, who cares about the timeline? It's important to look at a roadmap, even if it's not guaranteed, because then you have an idea of like the direction that the game wants to go in, right? Whether they actually go in that direction or not, at least it gives us something to look at and say, okay, this is do we agree with this direction, right? It would be better than them just doing it and then us being like, well, that's shit. We didn't want that, right? If they put out this like theoretical roadmap and we say, okay, these things are okay, we're not quite sure about this one, they might take that into consideration, right? People will say like, oh, our voice doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. I firmly believe that it makes a difference, because if it didn't make a difference, none of us would play this game. Right? Other notable things they mentioned: 3-star heroes not needing Mulligaras, a monthly free gear removal, that the 2-star Scorpion was a mistake. They want to try to make lab feel like less of a chore. I don't know how they're going to do that or if it matters really. And they want to do a rework on the Guild Wars member count because right now it is just absurd, and everyone recognizes it in all servers. They're working on development for a replay function for Arena, and they mentioned that they tried to do an anime with Netflix and it failed.
I'm pretty excited about the replay function for Arena. I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like it's introduced. I think they also mentioned something about RTA. I feel like you missed something about that, unless.
Did they
I'm
mention
pretty
that?
sure I heard it from somewhere when I was like watching Tenha's and Massive stream and whatnot.
Huh.
I think
There
this
was
is a very.
mention as RTA. I have no clue though. They said that they were gonna bring it out on November or something like that.
I don't think
They
this game
actually-
is ready for that.
They actually gave a
Yeah.
date. I don't think it's ready. The game, I think the majority of player base still needs a good like 3 to 6 months.
I don't even think
before
it's the
they're ready
player
for
base. I
RTA.
think the game
The-
needs to be balanced first.
Not to
Yeah,
mention
it was
the
considered.
unit pool is so small. Like, I feel like the unit pool needs to grow. Like, not the 5 stars, but like the 3 to 4 stars needs to grow. So there's more options available.
I think it's more so that the units just needs to be viable because then if you really think about it, like most of the times as we can see right now, only the MLs are viable. And then we can only see like out of all the 6 stars that I ever made in this game, about like 40 of them, I only use about like a good 10 of them. So really, they could release some more, but at the rate that it's going, like every 2 weeks, assuming that there might be like a new 5-star unit, like after Charlotte or something like that. I don't know how much is that's going to be like, I don't know whether that's going to be a big enough difference for us to even say that it's going to be good enough for RTA. Right.
All right. Well, opening it up, we can answer a few questions from chat. If chat has anything there, we open it up, see if anyone has any questions that we want to answer. Then we can go there for that. A lot of people talking about RTA. Comparing, a lot of people like to compare RTAs. I feel like in Summoners War.
Because Summoners War is the only game that does it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that. I feel like everything was based off of Summoners War here.
Yeah.
A lot of it. Yeah.
But not the Mystic Summons. They messed that up.
Is it possible to report a bug to me and I'll pass it on? Yes. Yeah. You can DM me on Discord. Here's my. Actually, I would prefer if you message me this way. Just join that and message me.
How different do you think E7 would be if they implemented the same Mystic Summons from Summoners War, where it's only
It would be so much
RGB.
better.
If they did
So
that from
much
the,
only RGB?
if they
my god!
did that from the start, great.
Or
But
even
then-
if they had the 4 stars in there, that's fine. The 5 stars, the problem is the 5 stars are too strong and they're too
Yeah.
accessible at the same time.
Yeah.
So
I think they're
the
trying to make
first
it.
issue is they're too strong. And then the second issue is that so many people have them that it's another issue on top of that.
What is Summoners War? Mystics
Yeah,
like?
okay,
Or like,
okay.
what is it?
3 nat 5s, 1 of each element, and then 5 nat 4s. 2, 2, and 1 element wise, and then a whole bunch of 3 stars.
So you know how in E7 it rotates between every week. You can get Saz and Windrider, right?
Yeah.
So that it would rotate like that, but there would be no ML nat 5s in the pool. It's just strictly
Yeah.
RGB and artifacts. Yeah.
I think that'll be a lot better.
I feel like if they
Yeah.
try changing it now, they have to fix things first before they do any changes. There's no way they can just change it now.
You can't go retroactive though. Like they're not gonna take away your ML ball.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna change much. Like it's kind of hard to go back. And I'm pretty sure the business owners and stakeholders, they make so much money off of this. There's no way they're gonna be like remove it.
Yeah.
So
that's
I
true.
don't see what they can do at all.
And then the worst is in oh man, there's so many things wrong with the Mystic system.
Yeah.
There's so many things wrong with the Mystic system.
It just shouldn't have been introduced. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I disagree with the idea of Mystic summons. It's strictly the ML 5s and 4s that I think are too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
You're buying ML pulls, and ML pulls already were gate capped by 120 summons.
You're
which is
buying
huge.
cheaper ML. You're
Huge.
buying like
Yeah.
a shot at one specific unit that is so far nuts. right? 2 of 4 are nuts. 1 of 4 is like meh. The other one is really good still, right? And then ML Ravi's good too. It's like it's a scary concept.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you took out Mystic, I guess if you took out Mystic packs that was purely from Guild Wars and Hunts, there's still those people who are going to do like 1 or 2 summons and get the ML5 unit from there. But I don't know if that would be good. Like, I feel like that might still cause an issue.
I mean, I felt like it was fine when it was like, I would assume that when they first released the Mystic system, you could only acquire like the currency to pull from just Guild Wars, and I thought that was okay.
I saw
but
the packs
later, but then eventually the packs came in, and then that wasn't the case anymore. Now you could actually just buy it.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh crap, I just started losing Guild Wars. May as well just start buying Mystic packs. Screw it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they brought a MLR, and then that's everything went on like a twirl. It wasn't like right anymore. And then they made it even more accessible by farming it from hunts. So crazy.
Mystic packs.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying the fact that they buffed the Mystic packs. Like it was initially just 2 packs, and then they buffed it to 4 packs. When they saw, I guess maybe a lot of people bought them.
Yeah,
so
it was the number 1 moneymaker. So
Probably.
the people that owned the company was like, "Yo, just double it."
Just give them more.
That's pretty much what happened. I'm pretty sure, like quote unquote, that's exactly what they said. Just double it.
Oh.
People have been talking about in chat here about auto repeat and stuff. It was kind of strange. The only thing I would be comfortable, like I am a firm believer of auto repeat as a terrible function in games because it separates, it widens the gap between pay to play players and free to play players.
Yep.
I also hate it because it basically no longer attaches like actual time investment to the game. The game is just, it just plays all day, right? Yeah. So I hate auto repeat as it's a terrible function. However, in this game, because they wanted to bring it and they said that they wanted to bring it, the only thing I was comfortable with it in was like catalyst farming. I think catalyst farming is not the end of the world to have an auto repeat on. It's not super terrible. It's not great, but at the same time, it's not terrible. But when they mentioned it in the conference, they were actually talking about it like the opposite. They wanted only hunts to be hunts and spirit altar to be auto repeatable, which I was like, that is exactly the opposite of what is okay, what is acceptable. That is
they're looking at like
possibly the worst way to go.
What people were farming the most, and then they're like, oh, they farm this the most, so let's slap an auto repeat for them there. But no, I definitely agree with you. Like, I hate the fact that
okay, look at it from this perspective. Now this is gonna sound a little bit tinfoil hat, okay? Instead of banning people who macro, you add auto repeat so they spend the same amount of money and you don't have to ban them. We smart. Easy. That's the fix. That's the money making fix right there. It's a terrible idea, but that is the money making fix.
Okay.
No lie. That's the big brain play if you're Smilegate.
That is actually so true. With all the people macroing already.
Yeah. Why? You know, they've admitted that they struggle to tell when people are macroing. So instead of banning people who macro, why don't we just make them not macro instead? We'll just make them spend more money or equal amount of money. Right?
I don't know.
Think about that for a second, guys. Think about that for a second. I bet most of you didn't think about that.
No, I thought about it. It happened before.
What? What do you mean it happened before?
There's a couple of games.
Before a different game that I played, like a couple other games that I played.
I've never played a game with that.
I don't know. I don't think they'll do it. I think they've kind of. I think a lot of the things that they've said that we think are bad ideas, they've actually said them and said, "Hey, this might be a thing," specifically so they can just turn around and say, "Well, maybe we shouldn't do that. You guys are right," and then look good. Right? There's another perspective, right?
Big brain
There's another
for
perspective
them.
on it. Yeah.
How-
Somebody was saying that they're like, I wouldn't be surprised if Smilegate hired people to heckle them at the conference. I don't think that happened. I think that's a bit far fetched.
I feel
But
a few people heckling. Yeah, I think there's a little too many for that to have been the case.
free equipment removal is tomorrow.
Yeah.
They mislabeled it on the stove thing.
I think that's the buffs too. The buffs for today.
Yeah,
right?
the buffs are. Oh, I'm so
Or
thankful.
yes, or tomorrow. I mean,
Because the
Tomorrow.
2 times rune drop was
No,
gonna
no,
be on Friday,
they are.
right?
They are already. We already talked to RQ about that.
Yeah.
They're tomorrow.
So that was thankful. Otherwise, like, yeah, you can farm light altar for 2 times rune drops only.
we're gonna stay up for 24 hours.
What?
I mean, 72 hours.
What?
I have so many runes from last time. I'm good. I don't need runes anymore.
I'll do the gold one. The EXP one's kind of meh for me. I'll do the gold one though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I went off topic with that. We were talking about the auto repeat system and stuff.
Auto repeat.
Someone else mentioned something else like auto complete tickets. I don't think this game would ever have that. That's terrible.
Oh,
They brought
Absolutely.
it out. They brought it out in another game that they published, Lost Ark, as we know.
really?
Yeah, they did, where you could like just auto repeat one of your dungeons and just like roll
Is
for
is
equipment.
this
Oh
is this
gosh.
their biggest game? like, to
I have
date?
no clue.
Because I feel like this is kind of their like, you know, modus or whatever it's called. No, their magnum opus or whatever. Like this is their best, probably the best thing they will ever create ever. I think that they're gonna try to cherish it and keep it alive. Is Crossfire bigger though? It's older, but I don't know if it's bigger, and I don't even think it makes nearly as much money.
Oh yeah, Dragalia Lost had auto tickets.
Crossfire is just a shittier version of Counter-Strike.
I tried
If you've ever
Crossfire
seen it, by the way.
I tried Crossfire once and never again. I don't know. Wasn't a big
I
fan
can't
of
play
it.
FPS games, so it's okay.
Do you think that instead of E7 just reducing limited things needed, such as molas, they should expand the path of progression so they can give more of stamina, mola, etc., without worrying that players will progress too fast?
Yes, but I think where we were at before the recent Mola refund is actually where the game was comfortable. I don't think we needed the most recent Mola refund, but I seem to always be on the unpopular opinion about Molas. I don't think, first of all, I don't think that you should be having a shit ton of plus 15s,
Yes.
and I also don't think that you should have. I also don't think that you should be building like a billion different units. If you want to build a unit, invest in it, see if it's good. If it's not good, you made your investment, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you should be able to just freely build everything at any time, do whatever you want. The game would just get boring so fucking fast.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Right.
it was mostly people that didn't play games like Summoner's War, which is obviously the us comparison here. They're just expecting, I want to build this unit, right? It's not, I can't use it the best it is without being plus 15, right?
I mean, if you want to invest in something
That's
really
kind of
heavily and you know it's like not the best or it's not that great, like you're taking that risk. You know you're taking that risk,
Mm-hmm.
right? This
people are
game is
privileged,
this
so-
game is this unique amalgamation of tons of different gaming communities that come together, right? We have FGO players, we have Grand Blue Fantasy players, we have Honkai Impact players, we have like Summoners War players, we have FFB players, we have tons of these different communities that come from totally different games, totally different backgrounds, totally different styles of gaming and expectation and all, and like compensation and such. So having this opinion, like as a Summoners War player, for me, like the whole Mulligar system is super easy. Like I understand exactly how it works, what I should be doing with it. And so I understand that there are players who have never experienced a game like this where you have to like carefully make investments into units, right? You can't just build everything you want. It's not just build this unit done, build this unit done, build this unit done, right? So like I understand the struggle of balancing that. And I really do think that for the most part, Smilegate has done a pretty fair method of that, right? They've given us 2 Mulligar refunds so far. And then when they nerfed units back then, they gave us like recalls on them. Like that was pretty good and pretty big.
Recall is something that I've never seen in any other game that I've played at least. So I was
So
surprised
this is
about
the
that.
only game I've seen that's done it successfully without like closing their game down within a month.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I was honestly surprised that they actually even brought upon like it came out of nowhere. Like randomly in the middle of the night, they brought out like a dev note saying that they were doing balance patches and all that stuff, and I was like, whoa, I'm dumbfounded. I didn't think they would actually do so much already.
So
But-
fried chicken, that refunding your Mulligaras for 5 mil, would be way too easy. It would be way too easy.
No.
I could
No.
refund and rebuild my Guild Wars defense every single like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Fully Mulligar thanks to +15, and then rebuild them every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah,
That would be terrible.
You're just not planning your molas right, because before this refund, I had I think like 50 to 60 molas. Like I didn't have units to mola, and I don't own one +15 unit. So, actually no, that's false. Carmen. Okay, but Carmen's 15. Yeah. So I don't know. Now I'm like swimming in molas. I actually have like 70, 80.
Yeah, I have a lot.
Yeah. But
I was at 80. I dropped down to 30 today.
I spam
I
all
A
just-
lot.
those.
30
I
is
just-
still a lot. You could probably make like more than one character with 30 now.
Maybe I'll say, yeah.
I didn't even buy the
A
most
little
recent
over
Mola packs, or I haven't bought rank up 3 either. So that would have
Oh.
been 17 more Molas.
How many did you get back?
49 the first time and 44 the second time.
Both of mine were in 50s.
Yeah. I hold on to mine. You spend more than I do.
Yeah.
You spend your Molas more often.
Yup. I spend them carelessly.
I've bought every Mola pack except for 2.
Even for the people who don't buy every Mola pack, like, as long as they're not just putting Molas into a character that, from the start, if they're careful with what they Molagora, they don't use their Molagoras the right way, then they'll be okay. But I think
The thing that a lot of people do is they spend it on damage skill ups when you don't need them. Right?
Yeah. I try to explain this to people. You need to think of it as like numbers. So for example, I 6-star to Sid, right? And when everyone 6-star Sid, you have one goal, right? You're gonna S3 and you're gonna one-shot someone. So technically, if you can one-shot him without molas, then you don't need to mola, even though he's a DPS, and you want to mola all your DPS like max S3, so he can fulfill his role, right? But you can actually just make that up with proper team comp and just gear. So there's just people just need to look at it differently, and I think they'll feel less privileged. But I mean, I don't know.
I feel like a lot of people, you don't need Molagoras until you're pretty late into the game. Like early game content, PvE, raids, Abyss, you don't necessarily need the Molagoras there.
Yeah, there's just a minimum. Most of the time, it's just like for cooldowns. But
Yeah.
if you notice, like with the recent reduction in molas, it's actually a lot easier for you to actually just get the minimum requirement. Like I noticed on some characters, it only takes like even 3 molas, just 3 molas. In 1 week, you could get 3 molas already. And most of those characters right now are really easy to make just because of this reduction in molas. I felt like that was okay. It's like early on, you can actually mola. Like if you want to min-max, of course you're gonna spend a lot more. But like in PvE, you don't really need to spend that much anymore.
Early on, you need 5 Molas per like support unit, and that's it. You just need cooldown
I
skill
think
3.
it's a lot less now.
Well, cooldown skill 3 on
Yeah.
3rd level is 5.
Yeah.
So like if you go Angelica +3, it's 5. If you go Destina +3, it's 5. If you go
Like that's like
Luca or something, it's +5.
that's like more than you need, to be honest. Because even for my alt account, I don't think I didn't mola my Destina at all, and she worked fine for me. So that again, granted, I have Dizzy. So
I don't like the idea of removing Mola cost for 3 stars personally. And the reason I don't is because some of the 3 stars are really good.
Larina.
Larina is not. If they remove. So
Everyone,
okay, so I guess here's the way you look at it. It's not about removing the Mola costs. It's now all of these 3-star units are going to be fully maxed, and Larina is actually the highest DPS over I think 4 turns.
is it
Because of the way her skill scale. Yeah,
her
because she gets
passive, right?
and she gets her turns really fast too.
Yeah.
Because she reduces CR, she gains her own CR. She has, over 5 turns because of her passive. Right, like she just gets so strong so fast. Right, her base stats are pretty good too.
I mean, I'm hoping the way they do it is, if they do remove the molas for 3 stars, there's a different type of currency, so that at least
I don't know. Okay, I don't know if they're going to be automatically fully maxed, but I assume we have to grind something to get them maxed out. But it won't be like molas. It'll be like farm a whole bunch of runes again.
God,
baby Molagoras.
I actually don't want to farm like another.
Yeah, neither do I.
It doesn't sound like a great idea from like when we already have hunts and catalysts and all that whatnot. I don't think I want to farm like a completely different stage just for it.
I'm not down for that.
But I do. I don't know if they really actually should do it or not.
Western S. I don't think there's anything wrong with making the cognitive choice of, do I want to improve faster or do I want to have a better end game?
Mm-hmm. Like some people who play the game, they just want to progress into it and then worry about it later. Like people are gonna spend mullahs there. They're gonna put it into, like, for example, you don't need mullah gores for Karen. I would pretty much.
I don't use any.
And
I have 0.
But I know people who max out skill 2, max out skill 3, just because they wanted their runs to be faster early game to do more damage thing. It's not necessary, but some people like doing that, and I think that's okay.
I mean, that's just basically because then, if it's your waifu, then any mullahs would justify it, right?
True fact.
I think that's just how it goes. I think that's just basically how the developers in the Q&A were like saying it. Like when they were like complaining about the Molagoras, when the Koreans were complaining about the Molagoras, like we wanted to know that issue. It's like, oh, they want to know, they want to know like, why is it so hard to like acquire it, or like why does it take so long to actually max out like a character, which it should take like 1 month to like cap it. But I was like, I thought these characters are supposed to have like significant value, that you're supposed to feel like some attachment to it in some way, and that's what the devs were like saying. Like when you're investing into the unit, you're probably attached to it, right? That's the reason why you invest into it. There's a reason why some people like there was one guy that has like all his banshees at plus 15 on Reddit.
Takuran.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I'm Takuran from King's Raid.
Yeah,
He was the Bell player. He was the rare, I'm gonna pick the memest unit and make him a god. And he did.
And he did. It works.
Yep.
He still does. He did it in the Aram meta.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's harder now, so.
It's much harder now.
In terms of energy, I think Skystones for 100 energy and Leafs for full would be fine.
Yeah.
If they upgrade. Like I personally am comfortable with what they have right now. I don't care. I really don't care. However, I would really like it to be Skystones make 100 energy and Leafs are full.
Yeah. Because I don't think it would be right if they were just to max out Leafs and then they just leave Skystones to be as it is. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, Leafs is like a kind of like a quote unquote rare resource, right?
No.
Like
Yeah, until you buy them all.
Okay. Okay. True.
Your rare resource is nothing to my $150.
$150 gone in the first week, and then it becomes a rare resource again.
I farmed 4,000 Skystones last night.
I feel like they've been pretty generous with the Leafs.
How do you guys farm that
They
much?
not?
I have a one-shot Banshee team now.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
no, no.
there you go.
He
So it
has
farms
no
really,
life.
really
Okay.
fast.
Okay.
While he grinds maple, it's easy.
Yeah,
Usually-
I stayed up for like,
Yeah.
I think I was grinding for like 10 straight hours.
I
Yeah.
remember those days.
Most weeks I gain Skystones from Arena. Like I don't actually
Too busy with
spend
work.
it on grinding. Yeah.
You,
not
do,
enough time
do you
in a day.
refresh?
I do refresh. No, I don't refresh Arena. I play. I'm a zero reset Arena player.
A zero reset legend player over here.
Wow.
So just strictly to. I've been doing that for a long time. So
Ever since he pulled Ruel.
yes, ever since I pulled Ruel
All right, that's it. We're
and
done.
Carmen and Carmen.
Yeah, Ruel and then Carmen in the same week.
Oh, man. All right. Okay, that makes sense.
I haven't pulled anything since though.
Did you get any of the new Mystic ML units or no? Do you have any of them?
Nope. I have. Dingo was the last one I got.
Oh.
Yeah.
I must say, something that does bother me about the game, and it doesn't bother me because it actually physically affects me as a player. It bothers me because I know there are a lot of players who kind of rely on this or really like it. I wish the like natural time for regen on energy was faster because it is really fucking slow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wake up every day with like 85 energy maybe, or
Yeah.
like 7. Depends how long I sleep. Sometimes it's like 65 or 70. And I'm like, wow, if I farmed only what I could get in a day, I could probably do like 7 runs and nothing else.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually so slow. I didn't
But like,
realize this
I feel
until.
bad for the people who play the game casually, who want to do dailies,
Mhm.
and then maybe sometimes they want to play a little bit more, and they save up and do summons. It's just like they can't even play the game because there's just nothing to play the game with.
That's why I
Right?
still assume that there's still an energy problem. It's not like it's still there, even though people say that you guys are okay with it. Like I don't know how you guys are at it right now,
Mhm.
but like even though you spend money and say that there isn't an energy problem because I spend money, really I really think like there's still
It's not what we said.
I don't know. Well, it's not like
we said
that, but
we said we're fine with it because
Yeah,
it doesn't
no,
really affect us.
It's definitely an energy problem for free to play players. So if you don't spend any money in the game, you definitely can't sustain. But if you're like a light spender, you'll buy, the occasional seasonal $100 pack here and there. Then I think that extra Skystone is enough for you to complete the events, and then the free stam they give you is actually enough every week to do everything, right? And then to farm though, you're gonna have to spend some money. I don't think there's any way around it.
I think it really comes down to like what is your end goal, right? If your end goal is to like farm and become really strong, then yeah, there's a huge energy issue. If your goal is to play casually, the only real issue you have with energy is that you can only play for like maybe an hour and a half a day.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas other games you like log in every like 3 or 4 hours. You're like, oh cool, gonna play some Alchemist Code or like gonna play some Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Got my arena things. People don't really enjoy doing arena in Epic 7.
Mm-hmm.
It's too slow. The meta is just too slow at the moment.
Well, speed imprints also just make it really oppressive in lower ranks. Like if I put my defense up, like my real defense, I cannot fall out of a champion.
I mean, dude, you
speed
just
imprints are
have
just too good.
just sit there.
Well, even before Arbiter Builder, I just double speed imprint somebody and they can't win. Right? Like you double speed imprint like at 230 dizzy, and that's not even like fast. That's not even fast. And suddenly your dizzy is like 250, and they're just fucked. Now if you make it like a 250 dizzy and then you double speed imprint, there's no chance for them.
Yeah.
Like, the challenger level players cannot beat that, because the challenger level players are a lot of like more casual, or like, they're the casual spender category, where they're just not there in terms of gear.
I mean,
right? Like sometimes like yesterday I asked on my Discord, I was like, hey guys, like how fast is your fastest set? How long have you been playing? How much have you spent? The average players that spend like $300 or $400 because they like it. They've been playing almost the same time as me. Their fastest sets are like 215, 220 if they get lucky on like a really nice piece.
What?
I'm like, I have 3 250 sets because I play a lot and I farm a lot, right? But that difference in like just the one set is just way too much. The speed imprints are just so oppressive to casual players that they can't do anything.
Do you have Watcher Shuri?
I do a Watcher Shuri.
I hate you.
I've pulled 3 or 4 of them, I think.
God dang it.
But honestly, even though there's fast sets, there are turn 2 teams. Now, what do you think about that, though? Like, what do you think?
Turn 2 teams are very unit reliant.
Yeah.
And it forces you to have immunity, which is really hard to farm.
Like, there's only certain turn 2 teams that you can run. Like, I mean, with Corvus, you kind of have another one now, but like, what to actually do damage? You have like a Crow, Dark Corvus.
You could turn to other stuff. You just won't beat it really fast. I mean, you can win. So, I mean, if you're trying to play the arena rush game, you can't compete.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can't arena rush for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't mean you can't hit. Assuming your defense can hold, you can still hit legend. You're not going to hit top 10, right? At most, you'll hit 50 to 100, depending on your gear quality. I mean, yeah, it's just what your goal is in PvP, right? So, I mean, some people are fine with, for example, I don't know, I used to play with the K-Ron. For sure, no one does that in Arena. So I would go in for Clury, and then I'd just use a K-Ron and kill people one at a time. And then I pick my targets, right? I pick the people that give me 15 points, and I use my 5 flags, and that's it, right? And in the time that I got the 60, 80 points, you probably would have used like, 20 flags? So, I mean, it's just how you see the game. And then, for me, I'm trading time, right? So I'm bringing a slow team, I'm going to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
to maximize, my flags. But
But I mean, if no one beats your defense, then it's fine.
Yeah.
If you
yeah,
have that super strong
Yeah.
defense, that's all that matters.
yeah, it's only because of my defense though. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think the whole challenger thing, people, well, like PvP is gear quality, right? So they need to understand that, like, you're in challenger. Challenger, I think, is like the bracket where you finish PvE, you just start doing hunts, and then you'll hit challenger, right?
Mm-hmm.
As long as you actively use your flags. And the champion bracket is when you start optimizing, you start making team comps, and then legend is just pure like gear quality and net
Gear
gain.
quality or
And
unit
net gain.
quality, and then you have to balance them after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Like Chi got a no flag legend
Who?
a couple months ago.
Oh, yeah.
One of our
Chi.
guild mates. Yeah,
Oh.
he quit. He quit the first week. He quit. He got legend without doing anything. He got ranked 97 or something in legend.
So he got legend and then he quit.
Yeah.
Oh no, he quit before that too. He quit the game.
He was
His
one of
defense was
the.
up and it got legend.
He was one of the best gear quality in PT. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Chi was one of the best Summoners War players out there too.
That too. But yeah. I mean,
But
yeah.
there's a couple things that make it infuriating on top of speed imprints and stuff. Like someone in chat actually mentioned it. Wholesome Edgelord. Speed variance is bullshit.
The speed RNG.
It's much better than it was before with the 10%. Now it's 5%, but I don't know if that's any better.
I mean, it's better, but it's also something like I feel like I wasn't really used to because it's different in Summoners War. So like coming from that game, it's like,
well, in Summoners War, it's exact speeds down to the decimal.
So it's
right?
like,
and if you tie on the perfect decimal, the attacker always has advantage, and it's very, 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 very unlikely to ever have that speed RNG where you have two units of the exact same decimal speed in RTA. But then it goes left to right because that's how attack bar is given, left to right.
So it was a little surprising to see how it.
5% is so bullshit though. Like the problem with 5% plus minus is for every speed you get, you have to like every speed someone gets on defense, you have to outspeed them by 2. Well, 2 and a bit technically, but 2, right? So if I have a 250 speed ML wall, you now need a 260 speed auxiliary lots, right?
261.
If I get 261, if I get a 251 ball, you now need 2 more speed to be comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's
because of that plus minus 5, right? And because the combat readiness is based on whoever the fastest unit is. That's how it's frustrating.
Yeah, it really is, especially for the people who can't get those good speed, like they don't have amazing speed sets to guarantee the outspeed. Then it's such a frustrating moment for them when they get speed RNG'd. I don't know. I feel like they won't change that anytime soon, though. I doubt. Maybe
if they want to make RTA a thing, that has to change.
It has to be. Yeah.
That has to be like 1 or 0.
Until
or
RTA
the
comes
game
out,
just will not work.
I don't think that's gonna change at least until then.
Speed meta still exists.
I think we covered a lot actually today. I would say decent amount. All right, well, I'll leave it at that. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you Panshui, Nereen, OnceInLuv. Thank you for filling in, Nereen, for the last moment fill in. Thank you for joining us again, chat, for the podcast. Do another one, not too soon later, 2 to 3 weeks again. And hope everyone has a good day. Peace out, everyone.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Bye-bye.